I've written here in bold, tell stories. So I want to tell a story of what happened to me, because some of you probably know that I was your typical liberal, your typical European liberal, with all that goes with that and all that nonsense, not very, very long ago. And I think it's important for conservatives to tell stories because you've all the best stories. You have all the best stories, but you don't tell them. And I don't understand why not. And as somebody coming from the liberal background, the Liberals are great at telling stories, and their stories are usually lies. And they get them printed in the New York Times, and on CNN, and everywhere else, and the BBC, and no one, and it's very, so conservatives have got to start telling stories. So I want to tell a few stories. I first of all want to tell a story about Mind Your Own Business, which is the story that changed my life, basically, and it's the reason why I'm here. I lived in Romania, and I was a freelance journalist, so I was a big, media whore, basically. I'd write anything for anyone. So I just did stories about anything for anyone. And I was just constantly looking to try and find stories and sell them. And it's a very tough game, that, actually. And this story came up about a Canadian mining company, evil Canadian mining company, of course, who were going to have the largest gold mine in Transylvania. And I can remember going up on the train, and as Phelim says, we were going up on the train to this place in Transylvania, and we had the story written. Evil mining company, innocent natives being taken advantage of, rape, pillage, the whole business. And we went up, and everything about the story that we presumed was wrong. So suddenly we meet these Canadians who actually have this great story to tell. They're going to do this really great thing. Now, they're going to take the village, and they're going to destroy the village. The village is going to be gone. And so they've said to people who live in appalling homes, really frightening, no electricity, no running water, just horrible. They say to them, we're going to destroy your lovely home, and here's where you're going to move to. And they built a model home in the village and said, this is the kind of place you're going to live in. They showed them. And the model home was stunning. It was like, when I grow up, I'd love to live in a house like that. So inside, we went into the house and we started meeting the locals. And there was an old lady in there in her 70s. And her eyes, she was crying. And I said to her, what's the story here? What are you crying about? And she said, I just hope I get to live long enough to live in a house like this. And I would say she's dead now. And that mine has not opened. And two women, a woman from Brussels and a woman from Switzerland, took it upon themselves to go there and destroy the hopes of that village. And they're environmentalists. And when you have a story like that happen to you, and the 27-year-old man who features in the film, George, who is still unemployed, who lives in a one-bedroom apartment with his 4 adult brothers and sisters and his parents, you work out that yourselves, how that's done. And one person in that family earns a living, the father, and he earns $200 a month. Work all of that out for yourselves. And 2 women who've only ever known wealth in their whole lives are single-handedly responsible for destroying that man's vision and his dreams for himself and the hope of working in a wonderful company that would give him a career. It's so easy to convert yourself after that. I stood there and I thought, God, when I was a child, when I was going to school, I was really into human rights. I mean, that's the kind of thing young people are really into, and I'm still the very same person. It's the kind of thing that fires you up. You want to change the world, make a difference. And if you go into a situation like that, a story like that, you can't be not altered by it. And I mean, I was like these shackles came off my eyes, and I suddenly thought, my God, capitalism is beautiful. Capitalism is great. Capitalism is the only thing that cares about the poor. Capitalism is the only thing that can bring poor people into this amazing world. And this world is amazing. And America is amazing. America is just, it's breathtaking what this country achieves. It's breathtaking what this country represents. And I love America. God, I love America. And anyone who doesn't love America, like Hollywood, need to be taken on. So I'm going to be giving you a job today.